Welcome to Streaming News Network by Claude McDaniel. News without the hype and biased reporting. Please like and subscribe.
This is Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. Washington, District of Columbia Mayor Muriel Bowser faced a mixed reaction Saturday while delivering the commencement address at Howard University's 158th graduation ceremony. Bowser, who also received an honorary Doctorate of Humanities degree, addressed thousands of graduates and guests during the event. While some attendees applauded the mayor, others loudly booed and chanted, "Free DC," as she spoke. During her remarks, Bowser pushed back against speculation about her political future, telling the audience she is not stepping away from public service. The mayor said, quote, "People have asked me if I'm retiring, resting, or quitting, and the answer is no, no, and hell no." Bowser also compared her own future plans to the graduate's next chapter, saying she too would be graduating when she leaves office in January. Ahead of the ceremony, some students circulated pamphlets criticizing the mayor's policies and encouraging forms of protest during her appearance. The handouts cited concerns over youth curfew zones, policing in the city, and Bowser's response to actions involving the Trump administration and National Guard deployments. Other criticisms focused on the mayor's ties to pro-Israel political groups and her stance on the conflict in the Middle East. The pamphlets urged students to protest by walking out, turning their backs, or interrupting the speech during the ceremony. This is Streaming News Network. Former President Joe Biden is preparing for a potential legal battle over the release of audio recordings tied to the federal classified documents investigation that drew national attention during his presidency. According to court filings, Justice Department attorneys told a federal judge they expect Biden's legal team to seek an injunction by Tuesday to block the public release of nearly 70 hours of partially redacted recordings from conversations Biden had in 2017 with his memoir ghostwriter. The recordings are being sought by House Republicans and the conservative group Heritage Foundation's Oversight Project. The Justice Department has agreed to delay any release until at least June 15 if Biden moves forward with legal action. Biden spokesperson T.J. Ducklo said the former president only provided the recordings to special counsel Robert Hur under the expectation they would remain private. Ducklo argued the effort to release the tapes is politically motivated and noted the Justice Department previously determined the recordings hold little public interest. The audio reportedly includes Biden discussing notebooks later found to contain classified material and making comments about discovering classified documents at his home. Special counsel Robert Hur ultimately declined to file criminal charges against Biden following the investigation. However, Hur's report drew controversy after describing Biden as a well-meaning, elderly man with a poor memory. It remains unclear what legal arguments Biden's attorneys will use in an attempt to block the recordings from being released. This is Streaming News Network. Sky Hogan, the widow of legendary professional wrestler Hulk Hogan, is mourning another heartbreaking family loss after announcing the death of her father, Kirk. In a message shared on social media, Sky Hogan revealed that her father passed away Wednesday following a lengthy battle with colon cancer. She described the past year as emotionally devastating after also losing her husband less than a year ago. Hulk Hogan, whose real name was Terry Bollea, died last July in Florida following cardiac arrest, marking the end of one of the most iconic careers in professional wrestling history. In her statement, Sky Hogan thanked her father's wife, Robin, for caring for him throughout his illness. She also shared that she and her sisters were able to remain by their father's side during his final days. Sky Hogan wrote that losing both her husband and father within the same year has, quote, gutted her, but said she takes comfort in knowing her father was surrounded by family and never felt alone. The Hogan family has not released additional details regarding funeral arrangements at this time. This is Streaming News Network. Authorities in Mississippi say a longtime family land dispute turned deadly Friday after a gunman allegedly killed two relatives before taking his own life following a tense standoff with law enforcement. Investigators say 62-year-old Walter Ernest Birdsong Jr. and his wife, 43-year-old Amanda Lynn Birdsong, were shot and killed inside their home in Florence, Mississippi. Police identified the suspected gunman as 56-year-old Kurt Birdsong, a relative of the victims. Authorities say the violence was tied to an ongoing disagreement over property that reportedly dated back nearly a decade. Investigators say Kurt Birdsong believed he had been promised a portion of family land by his late father. According to investigators, the suspect entered the home armed with multiple firearms and opened fire on the couple before barricading himself inside a bathroom. Law enforcement officers arrived within minutes and spent nearly 3 hours attempting to negotiate a peaceful surrender. Officials say hostage negotiators repeatedly tried to contact the suspect, but those efforts were unsuccessful. Kurt Birdsong was later found dead from what authorities believe was a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Because the Birdsong family was connected to the firearms manufacturing business W.E. Birdsong and Associates, the Rankin County Sheriff's Office also requested assistance from a bomb squad out of concern that explosive materials could have been stored at the property. The investigation remains ongoing. This is Streaming News Network. German actress Lara Joy Korner is mourning the tragic loss of her 19-year-old son, Remo M. Pollard. According to reports out of Germany, the teenager was found unresponsive Saturday morning in the Isar River near the Ludwigsbruck Bridge in Munich. Passers-by reportedly spotted the body in the water and contacted emergency responders. Authorities say the exact cause and circumstances surrounding his death remain under investigation. The body has been transferred to forensic officials in Munich as investigators continue their review of the case. The young man's grandmother, actress Diana Korner, confirmed the heartbreaking news Sunday evening. In a statement, she described the loss as devastating for the entire family and said they are still struggling to comprehend the tragedy. Lara Joy Korner is widely recognized in Germany for her appearances in television productions including Traumschiff and several Rosamunde Pilcher film adaptations. The actress is the mother of 4 sons. Remo M. Pollard was one of 3 children from her marriage to attorney and entrepreneur Heiner Pollard, whom she was married to from 2005 until 2013. No additional details have been released as the investigation continues. This is Streaming News Network. A federal extortion case is drawing national attention after court filings reportedly identified Wes Edens as the alleged victim in a multi-million-dollar blackmail scheme. Federal prosecutors claim a woman identified as Changli Luo, also known as Sophia Luo, carried out a lengthy campaign of threats and financial demands following what investigators describe as a brief personal relationship with the billionaire businessman. According to prosecutors, Luo allegedly demanded more than $1 billion from Edens while threatening to release explicit photos and videos. Court documents reportedly state that one demand exceeded $1.2 billion. Edens, 64, is a co-owner of the Milwaukee Bucks, co-founder of Fortress Investment Group, chairman of New Fortress Energy, and part owner of English soccer club Aston Villa. Investigators allege the two first connected through LinkedIn in 2022 and later met in New York. Prosecutors say the relationship deteriorated after Edens stopped communicating, leading to escalating threats involving his family, business associates, and media outlets. Federal agents later searched Luo's Manhattan apartment, where prosecutors claim they discovered hidden electronic devices allegedly containing explicit material and manipulated images. Court filings also state Edens previously agreed to a $6.5 million settlement in an effort to avoid public embarrassment and protect his family, but prosecutors allege additional demands later followed. Luo has pleaded not guilty to federal charges including blackmail and destruction of records. Authorities arrested her at John F. Kennedy International Airport as she allegedly attempted to leave for China. She remains under home detention awaiting trial later this year. This is Streaming News Network. Actor and comedian Martin Short is speaking publicly about the devastating loss of his daughter, Catherine Short, who died earlier this year at the age of 42. During an emotional interview that aired Sunday, Short described the tragedy as, quote, a nightmare for the family, while reflecting on his daughter's long struggle with mental health challenges, including borderline personality disorder. Short compared mental illness to physical disease, saying that, like cancer, some illnesses can ultimately become terminal despite years of effort and treatment. The actor also reflected on the death of his wife, Nancy Dolman, who passed away in 2010 following a battle with ovarian cancer. Short shared that both his wife and daughter, in different ways, had reached a point where they wanted peace from their suffering. The Only Murders in the Building star admitted that after losing Catherine, he questioned whether to continue moving forward at all. But he said spending time with his young grandsons helped him rediscover purpose and hope. Following Catherine Short's death in February, the family released a statement honoring her life and the joy she brought to others. According to reports, the Los Angeles County coroner ruled her death a suicide caused by a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Catherine Short worked as a social worker and was the eldest of the 3 children adopted by Martin Short and Nancy Dolman. This is Streaming News Network. Pop superstar Taylor Swift is pushing back against a trademark infringement lawsuit tied to her project, The Life of a Showgirl. Court documents filed this week show Swift's legal team asking a judge to reject a request for a preliminary injunction brought by performer Marin Flagg, who performs professionally as Marin Wade. Flagg sued Swift earlier this year, claiming the title, The Life of a Showgirl, is too similar to her own trademarked brand, Confessions of a Showgirl, which she says she has used since 2015 for live cabaret and touring productions. In the lawsuit, Flagg argued the titles create a similar commercial impression and target overlapping audiences. Swift's attorneys sharply rejected those claims, calling the lawsuit absurd and accusing Flagg of attempting to build publicity around Swift's name and brand. According to the court filing, Swift's legal team alleges Flagg increased social media activity connected to the dispute, including posts using hashtags associated with Swift and her fan base, while also featuring imagery and music connected to The Life of a Showgirl. The filing further argues there is little chance consumers would confuse Swift's album and merchandise with Flagg's cabaret productions. Attorneys also claim the title qualifies as protected artistic expression under First Amendment protections. A judge has not yet ruled on the request for the injunction, and the broader trademark case remains ongoing. Authorities in North Carolina say a 16-year-old girl and a 28-year-old man are facing multiple murder charges after 3 family members were found shot to death inside a home in Buncombe County. Investigators say deputies responded Thursday evening to a welfare check at a residence in the Fairview community, near Asheville. When officers entered the home, they discovered 41-year-old Travis Eugene Grant, 42-year-old Kimberly Michelle Grant, and 66-year-old Sharon Harwood Grant dead from apparent gunshot wounds. According to investigators, the victims were members of the same family. Travis and Kimberly Grant were husband and wife, and Sharon Grant was Travis Grant's mother. Officials say 16-year-old Star Grant was missing from the home when deputies arrived. Investigators later received information indicating she may have traveled to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, with 28-year-old Devin O'Neill Loving. Authorities located the pair Friday morning at a hotel in Gatlinburg and took both suspects into custody without incident. The Buncombe County Sheriff's Office says interviews conducted by detectives led to both suspects being charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of felony conspiracy to commit murder. Investigators have not released a possible motive in the killings, and officials have not disclosed the nature of the relationship between the 2 suspects. Both are expected to face extradition proceedings in Tennessee before being returned to North Carolina. This has been a report by Claude McDaniel of Streaming News Network.
Thank you for listening to Streaming News Network videos and shorts. Please like and subscribe to our news channel.